As the purported front page of the internet, Reddit has a lot to offer. Full of communities catering to every possible interest, it would be hard not to find somebody who shares one of your interests. Sometimes this can be fantastic and exciting, especially if you've never been able to talk with anybody about different things you like. Sometimes it can be a little irritating with people insisting on having the final say on what is the best or the right way to enjoy something. And sometimes it can be world-altering, like finding out there's a subreddit dedicated to pictures of dead bodies or the sexual enjoyment of menstruation. Yeah. So today we're going to take a quick dip into the pool or cesspool that is Reddit and come out with some primetime examples of some scary stuff. I'll leave the real raunchy ones for you all to discover on your own time. Consider this a jumping off point. Hello horror heads and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host Keegan Hughes and today we're going to be counting down the top 5 scary subreddits you should never visit. Before we get going, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more morbid mysteries. Perfect, let's begin. Kicking us off at number 5, we've got r/NoSleep. If creepy stories are your jam, then this is the place to start. Creepypasta fans flock to this subreddit to read and write the next generation of scary online stories. As one of the better known freaky subreddits, NoSleep has over 1.4 million subs. After opening its doors about 10 years ago, it's become the premier destination for creatives and spook seekers alike. As the name implies, it's the classic read till 4 AM and then realize it's totally dark and you can't move site. If you want to fall down a rabbit hole of scary stories, this is the place to do it. You read one, and then another, and then another, and you keep going until your brain is 100% composed of scary internet stories. This, contrary to popular belief, is actually healthy. What makes NoSleep a special place for campfire story enthusiasts is the set of rules that make it a wonderful community. It's easy to dampen enthusiasm and discourage active posting if everyone's already crapping all over what's being written. So to keep the "this is so fake" crowd at bay, they have an overarching rule. Everything here is true, even if it's not. This makes for more fruitful discussion, keeps ideas flowing, and allows for more creative collaboration. NoSleep is full of well-known online horror gems like The Limping Woman, Search and Rescue, Mimicry, and more. Enjoy your insomnia. Coming in at number 4, we've got r/Paranormal. Now, if you've decided that fiction posing as reality isn't quite your speed, you can take a trip to the wild world of the paranormal. Investigators and enthusiasts alike gather here to swap tales of spectral encounters and really dig deep into the stories that others are telling. Unlike on NoSleep, skeptics and the totally reality-centric are encouraged to get to the bottom of each post. Nothing is off limits as long as it's relevant and paranormal related. Here, exorcisms and cursed objects are discussed with photos, videos, and written accounts to back them up. Recently, we talked about a cursed statue that first gained notoriety on r/Paranormal, which is a primetime example of the kind of stuff to expect. Ghosts, ghouls, curses, cryptids, you name it. If it doesn't fit into the well-established version of reality that most folks subscribe to, you'll likely find it here. Connections between amateurs and experts are made here too. Folks experiencing their first real scare can come to seek advice on how to deal with it, or potentially on how to resolve any number of freaky happenings. And it's not all problems and solutions though. Some topics brought up on this board are actually unexplainable though, compounding the mystery and creep factor. Videos of objects moving when they really shouldn't, threads of crime scene cleaners experiences, unexplainable security footage, and more await. A very popular, very unnerving category of posts is things kids said. You know, children with knowledge of things that they really can't explain. Past lives, ghost sightings, and more. That's the last thing anyone wants to hear. Portents of doom from innocent youngsters. Hopefully they're not possessed. Coming in at number 3, we've got r/UnresolvedMysteries. So less mystical and more mystery this time. This subreddit is dedicated to all sorts of unsolved disappearances, unexplainable crimes, unbelievable happenings, etc. If you've ever watched a true crime documentary with a bunch of loose ends or read up on the many cold cases that are out there getting colder by the day, you'll know what this is all about. People leaving home and never coming back after being sighted outside a sketchy gas station. Families going on vacation and remaining away. Updates on famous criminals who have never been caught, the whole shebang. And while a great deal of the mysteries involve missing people and conspiracies related to the functioning of well-moneyed celebrities, there are also some mysteries that are just plain strange. Prisoners who refuse to disclose their identity to anyone, remaining 100% anonymous. Investigations into the glitter industry. Trying to figure out why Corbin Blue's Wikipedia page is so well translated compared to other more bankable stars. A thread of Redditors who vanished after asking questions that may have hit a little too close to home. That last one is particularly worrisome, especially if you're interested in stuff like this. Speculation is encouraged and folks should be ready to bring in evidence and research if they want to push their narrative. It's stuff like this that opens up whole worlds that you may have never known about, and maybe after falling down the rabbit hole, wish you avoided. I think the scariest thing about Unresolved Mysteries, though, is the large number of amateur podcasts it inspires. Coming in at number 2, we've got r/LetsNotMeet. Have you ever read the missed connections section of any publication? How many of those do you think ended well? And how many were posted by a creepy guy who thought he was getting somewhere before whoever he was pursuing ditched? Sometimes you might get a ghost world scenario, but how well did that work out for everyone? Not great. r/LetsNotMeet is based on the concept of another similar subreddit called r/LetsMeet. Basically a giant online classified ad board where folks who are really into an interaction with an individual can try their hand at meeting a second time. Sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's desperate, and often it can get a little weird. The weirdest of the weird might make the leap into the dark side and end up on Let's Not Meet. This is the place to post tales of your creepiest real-life encounters with other people. Let's face it, people are weird and bad. Not always, but everyone's got a story about a person they hope they never see again. Whether it's a bad time at a party or a first date gone terribly wrong, the world is full of freaks and creeps who don't seem to understand how socialization works. Stalkers, peeping toms, and overly aggressive barflies all find their homes here. And what makes it extra disturbing is the fact that people are told not to exaggerate. This is not a place to hone your story writing craft. Instead, it's a place to recount actual events as they happened, which, when you think about it, is much creepier than any scary story. Some of the most haunting stories involve people coming within inches of death. I've seen more than one post about someone being somewhere moments before disaster, running into killers moments before they take down their victim, seeing kidnappers and sexual predators scoping out targets, human traffickers canvassing for their next score. It's terrifying to consider how close we may all be to disaster when out and about. And the tales from Let's Not Meet are a chilling reminder. And finally, at number 1, we've got r/FiftyFifty. Heaven or hell, what's it gonna be? 50/50 is basically a long list of high-stakes coin flips. Guess correctly and you're no worse off. Guess wrong and you could be psychologically scarred forever. You're risking your sanity for fun. Each post presents you with 2 options, something nice and harmless, or something NSFW or NSFL. I didn't even realize there were tags for things not safe for life. Thank goodness though. Because some of the options on 50/50 are so gross, so repulsive, that seeing them could cause permanent damage to a person's psyche. Secondary trauma is real, and if you're not ready, you could be having nightmares for years. Risking it all and running through a few of the posts became a popular pastime and even launched some content creators into the spotlight. Infamy is just as good as fame, right? Let's just take a look at some of the options you have while browsing 50/50, and you let me know whether you'd be willing to take that bet. Men getting eaten alive by shark versus men dancing with shark. A beautiful neighborhood versus man gets electrocuted until his head falls off the side of the roof. A Bob Ross painting versus a decomposing corpse. Wizard spider with his magic hat and mighty staff versus horribly infected spider bite. Honestly, the risk versus reward factor isn't enough for me. I feel like the only reward is the relief of not being exposed to something disturbing, but hey, some people live for the thrill, right? So now you've got all sorts of new frontiers to explore to your heart's content. Or possibly discontent. If you've got a bad heart, maybe avoid these altogether. I'm sure I left out a few choice scary subreddits, so let me know what your favorite is down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more insidious ones from the top 5 SCP monsters that can never escape, part 17. Mike Vasquez says, a virus that turns a person into a steampunk robot? Most metal virus ever. Literally, like, it turns you into metal. Shampasaha says, yes, give us more information that we should not know. Well, the forbidden fruit is always tastier. Enjoy this classified information while you still can. K Lily M says, as always, I am stuck with the desire to go and work on my SCP. Do it! Make your mark on the SCP community. I want to hear all about it. Noel Laguna says, S, scary, C, camera, P, pics. This is especially true when discussing SCP-978. And Patrick Barnes says SCP-1110, the perfect crime, eh? Here's how you commit the perfect murder. 1. Buy weapon online. 2. Make plan to kill in remote location. 3. Kill someone with the purchased weapon in said location. 4. Clean off weapon. 5. Repackage the weapon. 6. Return weapon to sender. Let me know how it goes. I don't think I'm gonna follow that plan. I think the whole buying a weapon online thing might put me on a list of some kind. But good luck with your murderous ambition though. And that's all the time we have for today. Before I slapbox a kangaroo, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for misanthropic mischief. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Reddit has a lot to offer. Full of community... hell. Creepypasta fans fly... Creepypasta fly... It's easy to dampen enthusiasm and discourage... Why is it so hard to speak? Decided that fiction posting, and how many were posted by a creepy guy who thought he was getting somewhere before whoever he was pursuing. You let me know whether you'd be willing to take that bet. Oh my God, guy, Jesus Christ. Another similar subreddit called I am gonna jump off a bridge.